Welcome to the pre-show, Aaron.
Hi everybody. Hi, Boat.
Hey. First thing I think we need to do is move our level down just a little bit.
Level us down, man.
So, what's been going on?
I've been very busy. Luke has had a full schedule this week. We've had Scouts Monday, baseball, karate Tuesday and Thursday, baseball Wednesday. So this is the first night I have not had to go to a ballpark or something. And so instead they drop Luke off at his mom's because tomorrow is the Mothman Festival, which we're going to be a part of. So we're going to get up there bright and early and set up for Mothman.
So tell me, set the scene for Mothman.
This is the 50th anniversary of his appearance. And
is the Mothman have a gender?
I would say no, but who knows? Maybe. There could be a moth woman.
Mm-hmm.
I assume since he's Mothman, he's
right.
a man.
But he's never named himself as such.
Well, yeah. So I guess moth woman would sound, I don't know. You know, most monsters don't have a feminine gender.
No. What's that tell us about monsters?
That's why they're
Maybe
mad.
they're sexually frustrated.
That's why they're pissed off.
Yeah.
But it should be a good event. This is the 15th annual Mothman Festival, which that's pretty amazing.
It is.
It's held in downtown Point Pleasant, West Virginia, home of the Mothman, home of the Mothman Museum, home of the Mothman statue, and it's held right around the statue. They'll have vendors, which me and my girlfriend are going to be vendors, I guess.
What will you be vending?
We'll be selling books, Teresa's homemade crafts, and they're pretty good. I
didn't realize she did crafts.
Yeah, she does molds. She does candles. She does what do they call those things? Like a cup. The thing you set your coffee cup on or whatever. Like a
coaster.
Mm-hmm. She does custom coasters. Everything with a Halloween or monster slant.
Okay.
We'll have a custom painted Mothman anniversary portrait. Well, not portrait, just a picture that my friend Larry or Lawrence painted.
Is it going to have Mothman on it?
It is a Mothman. It looks like a comic book cover. It's
really?
Pretty neat looking.
Is Braxton County Monster like in the background?
No, he's not. This is because he's not a part of the Mothman Festival. We don't see much about the Braxton County Monster here. He's sort of fallen out of favor.
It's a shame.
I'm afraid.
He was always my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what he looks like?
He's red. He's kind of got a round head and sort of a triangle-shaped body.
He's weird looking.
That's why I like him. It's like you couldn't think him up. He doesn't look like something that you'd guess was a monster.
That's true. Yeah, Mothman is a much more conventional monster. But it should be a lot of fun. I'm going to shoot some Amigos live footage there just to show people the bird's eye view.
Maybe we'll go up there tomorrow. Eve and I are we're gonna take a trip. How long does it take to get to Point Pleasant?
From here, a little over an hour.
Oh, that's far.
That's not that far. You know where Buffalo's at, right?
Yeah.
Just the next place down from Buffalo.
Yeah, there's a lot of place between Buffalo and Point Pleasant.
You get down there pretty quick. But
I'll ask Eve.
Has he been to Mothman?
He's never been to Mothman. I've never been to Mothman.
Hey, they're gonna have they're gonna have carnival foods. They're gonna have all sorts of speakers. All kinds of crazy. They're going to have psychics. They're going to have card readers. They're going to have people that are experts in the fields of monster hunting, and the monster hunters are going to be there. The West Virginia mountain monster guys are going to be there. They got zip line. They'll have carnival stuff. They usually have an antique bike show.
Okay.
Or a car show.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever taken him to Point Pleasant?
No, we've never been there.
You should go, because even if it wasn't a Mothman going on, you've got the Silver Bridge Memorial there. You've got all the parts inside the locks that are real nice. There's a guy there that makes custom soda that's real good. They have the Chief Cornstalk Park, where a very famous Civil War battle was fought. You can visit the TNT area, where the big Point Pleasant was used by our military during the war to stockpile, a bunch of stuff. And they built these big cement bunkers and the bunkers are sort of like shaped like a dome, and they just stick out of these woods, and the woods are sort of swampy, and so the swamp has claimed a lot of these, and you can just see barracks at the tops of them. There are a few that you can actually go in and explore, and they're pretty interesting to go inside. So they'll be touring that. They'll be so there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, that sounds neat.
Yeah, they premiere movies. Of course, the Mothman Museum. If you haven't taken her in there, that's a must visit.
What is the actual festival cost money to get into?
No, it's a street fair.
Okay,
yeah.
So it's just right there on the
Yep,
drive.
free.
Okay.
Mothman Museum, you have to pay to get to the back of that, but the rest of it's free. They have a naval poster museum that's really good too. If you're into that sort of thing, so I recommend it. But yeah, it's a good time. But I'll shoot some footage for our Amigos fans, particularly the European fans that might not have anything like. Well, I bet they probably have some pretty wacky festivals over in Europe.
Yeah, but they don't have
like that
Mothman.
one they sent us that one crazy one in. The Straw Man or something like that.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Wicker
wacky.
Man?
Wicker, no. So, but I've been incredibly busy, and then Luke's birthday is next week, so we're having a little birthday party for him. And after that, we're going to Scarefest for the weekend.
Now,
so,
what is Scarefest?
Scarefest is it's in Lexington. It's you've heard of Comic-Con?
Yeah.
This is like horror movie con.
Oh.
With also some paranormal stuff. The ghost hunters are going to be there. Then I don't know.
The same ghost hunters that are going to be at Mothman?
No, these are the big time TV ones. You know I don't know.
The guys on the Travel Channel?
No, they're on Sci-Fi.
Oh.
You know, the original ghost hunters, the ones that started the whole idiot
Not
craze.
the Ghost Adventurers.
No, this is the ghost hunters.
Okay.
A bunch of cast members from different movies are going to be there. Last year it was Fright Night, which was awesome. They had a Fright Night reunion, which was awesome.
That would have been a great tie-in with the podcast.
Yeah. I know. Did I bring that up last year when I
don't
went?
think you did. Because I know we did Fright Night for the Halloween episode.
I'm sure I brought that up. I had to have.
Maybe you did.
This year they're doing People Under the Stairs. You ever seen that?
I don't watch horror movies. I get scared easy.
Well, I don't remember it being that good. I'm going to have to go and watch it. The Friday 13th cast are going to be there, but again, they're always around. There's like 1 million of those guys. They made like 300 Friday 13th.
True.
So I'm not real fired up for this one, but the tree always gets fired up, so I'm going to go. Christine will be there, that car from Stephen King movie.
I never understood that.
Yeah.
It's like a car that...
It'll kill you.
It'll kill you. Didn't they make a semi-truck horror movie, too?
It's funny. Maximum Overdrive. You should now that's a must-watch.
That's a Stephen King thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've never seen that movie, right?
No.
But have you seen the picture of the semi-truck? It's got a green goblin thing like mounted to the front of the truck. Last year when I was at Scarefest, I walked past. I was like, this screws about. I was like, and there was the green goblin face. And this guy's like, hey, man, come over here. And I went over, and he said he rebuilt this thing for the movie.
Wow.
It had pictures of it. It melted. At the end of the movie, the truck is blown up. And they were going to throw it out. And he kept it. And he had it. You could for money, you could get pictures with it. Of course, I'm cheap. But it was still cool to see.
What is the end of Max? Because I know like machines come to life and kill people. That's the plot. But
vehicles.
How do they?
Probably all machines.
How do they die though? Well, how do the machines go away?
I think it was a temporary effect caused by a meteor passing close to the Earth, or a comet. But that's not really a horror movie. That's a wacky movie.
That's the only Stephen King movie that he directed.
There's a great bit in that. I don't know why it always struck me as funny. Where this guy goes over to get pop out of the pop machine, and he puts his money in. It doesn't give him any pop. It starts beating on it, and it starts shooting sodas out. And it's in a baseball field, and it's shooting him, and he's killing all the kid baseball players. They're all getting crushed by these cans. This guy takes one right in the groin, and he's like, oh, he leans down a little closer, and they shoots him right in the face. You know, it's good stuff. Good, clean fun. Good soundtrack, if you like AC/DC. So, yeah. What are you up to, Boat? Enough about me.
It's been a busy week for me, too.
Oh, yeah?
Gearing up for the Winfield Middle School Band debut performance next week.
All right, where at?
In the Winfield Middle School football field.
Shazam!
Yeah.
Are they going to play during a game?
We play a pregame show. We play in the stands.
How many games y'all be doing at this year?
2.
Okay, that's pretty good. For middle school, that's amazing.
Yeah, our away game. We got an away game. We're going to Hurricane, and Hurricane Middle plays all their games at the high school. And yeah,
I didn't know that.
The Hurricane Middle field doesn't have enough seating to accommodate all the fans, and so.
Oh, really? They're a big draw. Are the middle school football?
Well, have you seen the middle school stands lately?
No,
they're quite small, and so we're excited about that. It's been a big retro gaming week with lots of ups and downs. Big up was that my floppy MU came in, the floppy emulator for the Mac.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a lot of classic black and white Mac games on my Mac Plus.
Yeah, that looked like a beauty. I was impressed with that.
Yeah. I go into more depth about it on the Amigos Plays video of the of Glider. But the thing that struck me about the Mac is that it's about the same age as the Amiga. Mm-hmm. More or less. The Mac's a year or two older. They both use the 68,000 processor. The Mac has a black and white screen, but the resolution is just out of sight. I think it's got 800 by 600 or something like. Maybe it's even 900 by something.
It was very sharp.
Yeah. So it's kind of neat to play games on that. One disappointment from this week was I got I'll bring it over and show you.
It's funny that they have the same processor. You can really see where the Amiga, the custom graphics chips come into play.
Yeah.
For example, watching that golf game we were playing render would be no easy task without a custom chipset. And I'm guessing this thing, I'd say this thing is pretty processor laden. It probably does most of the work.
Absolutely, because the Mac is completely in development. The Amiga was developed as a game console. Steve Jobs did not want games to be. He didn't even want to put a game on the Mac just to come with it. It came with a tile sliding game.
It's funny. Have you watched the new Kim Justice video about? I think it was Sinclair. It was a Sinclair.
Now she just put one out today about what's his name. But yeah, Sinclair is the newest one. Clive Sinclair.
He also hated games.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Which I thought funny because the Sinclair is known as a big game.
It's a games machine.
But he hated it.
Mm-hmm. He wanted it to be a productivity machine. Which, looking at that thing with the rubber keys and stuff, what was he thinking?
You look at this guy, Sir Clive, and of course we've got probably me more than you. I've got a limited knowledge of this of the Sinclair, but this guy was quite a character.
He was.
And when he rolls out in his jogging attire,
and the shorts.
That's one of the finest things I've ever seen. He had that look on his face, and the guy they got to play him in the film, which we've got to see this movie.
I've seen it. I watched it when I was over in England.
Because let me tell you something, that guy looks dead on, and his facial expressions are priceless.
Yeah, and of course you know who plays the guy that founds Acorn, don't you?
I know. I saw Dr. Watson in there from Sherlock.
Right, and then there's also the guy that played the guy in the office, the British Office. The guy that played not Michael Scott's character, but the main good guy.
Oh, I haven't seen very many of the British ones. So that was like a good flick.
I think that's him. It might have been Dr. Watson from Sherlock. I get those guys.
But the Sir Clive, I thought Kim was pretty lenient on him.
He's got Kim's being British. She's got she kind of leans that way. She gives the Brits the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know if she would drop the hammer on sugar, but
but she loves Clive Sinclair. She loves the idea.
What about
of
Molyneux?
I guess more of the idea of Clive Sinclair being. But it's funny because all of the things said about him are pretty much untrue. Like he didn't really invent anything. He was more like Steve Jobs, where he had people working for him and he chose products that he thought would be a success. The difference between him and Steve Jobs is that none of the things that he picked was a success except for the Sinclair ZX Spectrum.
I love. Of course, I've seen this many times. His electric, little electric car. Mm-hmm. What a beauty this thing was.
It reminded me of like a cross between a Vespa and really just like a Vespa you could sit in, like a three-wheeled Vespa.
I love the fact that they took the press out and let them use it, and it instantly failed.
Yeah, in January, so they all had these ponchos on.
That's the most ill-advised move of all time.
Oh.
Anyway, what you got up and got?
I'm going to talk because that's Amiga related. I'll talk about it on the show.
Okay.
But still waiting on the Y splitter to be able to get video output to the monitor and the video capture card. Still waiting on my video capture card to come in. So big things are still afoot. But we're just in a holding pattern. Look over there. See that thing that I got with the switches on the front of it?
Uh-huh.
Remember those things?
I got one of those.
Yeah.
I got one of those. They're handy.
What do you call that? A power. It's like a surge protector, but you've got individual. Power station.
The problem is, don't try. You can't use those with consoles because the things are too big. That's a good thing. That's a reason you got your things, I guess.
Right.
Your little extenders.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, that's especially useful for the Amiga and also the ZX Spectrum, because they've both got things that you plug in, the GBS 8200 and the Spectrum, of course. So
you played a lot of games this week then?
Well, I really didn't. I really just bought equipment on eBay and moved it down to the basement.
Yeah. I managed to get my. Of course, I think last week I announced that I in fact had gotten the 32X working on the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive, and this week I got a Everdrive in the mail. It's an authentic Everdrive cartridge, and it came with an 8 gig card full of ROMs with plenty of room to spare. And I stuck a few more on there and fired it up, and it worked great. All the 32X's games work, so the 32X is fully functional. And I once I cleaned it, it ran perfectly. So I was very impressed. There were a few hiccups, which I'm going to do a little video on, involving using these Everdrive cards with the 32X inserted. But it was good. The first thing I did was load up Battle Squadron to see how it ran after playing it on the Amiga. The sound is not good. The music is nowhere near as good. The game seems to be a little bit faster. But it's pretty comparable, you know. It's neat to go. One of the things I want to do with it is just go and try to play some of the games we just reviewed on the Amigos and see how they compare on something that I can try them on. So
it would be a great follow-up if you do a little video of the Genesis version after we do.
Yeah, I might go back to the back catalog and flashback and some of these other things, because that's one of the main reasons I picked it up. I was like, this one can trust on that. I mean, of course I could run on an emulator, but it's, you know, put it on the actual hardware. Genesis emulation is solid, but you know, the sound's a little goofier, and especially if you get these emulated boxes, they never get the sound around those. So, but I heard something wacky today on the way over here. I was listening to I ran out, so I was listening to Retro Game Roundup. I know, but which I'll listen to it on and off. It's a long show, and there's some stuff.
Do you listen to the 10 Pence Arcade podcast?
I have.
You ought to replace Retro Game Roundup with.
I like them both, and I'm not even comparing them by any stretch. But I mean, the Retro Gaming Roundup podcast is so long, and there's big chunks of it that I'm not interested in. There's some stuff I am interested in, but he on the hardware flashback he mentioned that someone was taking the those Coleco flashback units and the Intellivision flashback units, putting a one of those mini computers in them and making them. And like just putting all the ROMs on them, so you can have like the ultimate flashback.
Right.
But I was like, well, that's kind of neat. And I sat and thought about it, and I was like, what would you be playing at that point?
Right, because I mean, instead of doing that, take the mini computer and throw away the flashback, because all you need is that mini computer.
Well, it uses the controllers and stuff from the flashback. It adds HDMI.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and for the Intellivision. The ColecoVision, the Intellivision, you know, those controllers are tricky. Getting new controllers, having overlays. You know?
So explain to me how this works.
Okay, you know what the Intellivision flashback is, right? You get them at like the store.
Yeah. They
come with like say 50 games.
Right.
Okay.
Now these units don't have HDMI though.
No, they just have standard crap out. Right. This guy takes them, and I'm guessing takes out almost everything. He puts one of those Arduino. That's it. He puts one of those in it. He wires the controller ports up to it. The power. It's got an HDMI out, right, which that comes standard with it. He puts a nice port in the back so you can plug all that stuff in. And you put whatever games you want. It's got an SD slot on it.
Okay. So
and then you get it home, and then you've got the. You got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I take back my earlier reception. I think that's cool because, you know, how else are you going to plug in an Intellivision controller?
Well, they make interfaces for the PC. I've heard, which that would be great. All right, but the problem is, Intellivision emulation is a little wonky. I've been playing with it for years, and it's not. It looks fine, but it's never quite right. But here's the downside of that. The guy, well, I guess you send him your unit,
right?
and $160,
Mm-hmm.
and he sends it back with that stuff in it.
And does it still fit in the same casing that the thing came in? Yeah.
$160 is a lot of money. Now he says that's including shipping, and he says it costs him $130 to do it. That's what they say. But I can't imagine why it would cost that much. Can you? Those Arduinos aren't that expensive, are they?
I don't know.
So anyway, that was kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
Something I heard. I don't think I've got it in television, which I would like to play more actually if I had more stuff for it. But,
Yeah.
I've got.
I spent $130 on that floppy emulator. So
I spent $65 on the. We're idiots.
yeah. So if you want to spend $160 on a Intellivision with HDMI out, more power to you.
You know, in your case, you're less of an idiot.
Well, I don't know about that.
Because because where are you going to play Mac emulation like that? Where it's, I mean, that's not even close to the same.
Yeah, Mac emulation is pretty bad.
The picture wouldn't look right.
Yeah.
So I'm down with that. I understand that.
Is there anything else we need to talk about before we start the show? I don't think so. Is there anything you've got? I hope to have more retro gaming news next week. I hope to have the Sinclair up and running and everything. But
yeah, I'll have a lot more action this week. I'm gonna try to make a video if I get a spare moment.
Yeah.
So we'll have more stuff coming.
Okay, let's go ahead and start the show. We'll see you on the show. Watch out.